This week, kitchen hacks go to pot, footballer scores, and the flippable, foldable phone. Flat or bended? Last week, YouTube revealed for the first time just how much cash it's making parent company Google. That was $15 billion last year. Announcing its results for the first time seems almost a rite of passage. The service has matured, grown up, and is standing on its own 2 feet. I visited YouTube's London office to find out how it's come of age. Kevin, YouTube used to be the place where video went viral, but now it seems that a lot of that happens on TikTok or on Facebook. How do you feel things have changed?
Well, I mean, the internet has gotten a lot bigger. It's a lot easier to make a really beautiful looking video now than it was 10 years ago even. When you look at now what the most popular videos are on YouTube, they're often not these kind of one-off viral hit videos. They're actually coming from channels that are producing lots of content regularly and that have large audiences. And I think YouTube has moved from this kind of unintentional, kind of quick, short video thing, which we all associate those early years of YouTube with, to this sort of new world in which you have creators who have businesses and build these audiences.
And few could have predicted some of the most successful genres. Talk to me about ASMR.
So ASMR is short for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response, and it's a genre of video that people often call whisper videos, where people whisper or tap on things to make the audience feel relaxed.
Okay, what sort of things might they do?
They might whisper, they might cook, they might rub different things on the microphone. It's a very unusual form of entertainment, but it's not designed necessarily to make you laugh or to do the things that we think about for traditional entertainment. It's designed to help you relax and calm down.
Another big trend is recipes. Making something the old-fashioned way can be time-consuming and fiddly. So some of the videos online, particularly many that have gone viral, make it look very simple. But is it always possible to do what you're watching? Well, Chris Fox has been finding out.
You've probably seen food hacks like these online before. Top tips for tasty treats, but are they too good to be true? Videos like these have clocked up billions of views on YouTube and Facebook, but do all the recipes and tips featured actually work? Or will they just waste your time and ingredients? Here's a milk carton flan from the lifestyle channel Blossom. This video's had 17 million views. You put the ingredients in the carton, microwave it, cool it, and out pops a perfect carton flan. Now, I followed this video step by step. I've used the exact same quantities. Now, the first problem came when I tried to put this in the microwave because the milk carton was too tall, it wouldn't fit. And that got me thinking, well, how did they fit their milk carton full of ingredients in the microwave? And it looks like they didn't, because if you rewatch the video, you'll see that they actually just cut the bottom of the milk carton off. Not to be deterred, I poured the mixture into a gym shaker and followed the rest of the video, putting it in the microwave to boil for 10 minutes. And did I get a flan at the end of it? No, I did not. Next up, gummy bear hacks. Easy DIY dessert recipes from So Yummy. 3.2 million views. In this video, melting gummy bears turns them into jelly, which you can use to create desserts. Here's my attempt copying exactly what I saw in the video. Turns out gummy bears are actually very thick and gloopy when they are melted, not runny like liquid jelly. Will my spoon go into the jelly just as effortlessly as in the So Yummy video? Well, no, it will not. Because as you might expect, this gummy mixture at the bottom of the glass is rock solid. Let's have one more. This is from 5 Minute Crafts. If you've run out of popcorn Why not just shove an ear of corn in the microwave and it will turn into popcorn? Now, I'm sure I don't need to tell you that if you put an ear of fresh corn into the microwave, it won't come out as popcorn, it will just be hot corn. But I was willing to be proved wrong, so I tried it out in the name of science. When it comes out, it is warmer than before. Now, I'm not the only person that's been intrigued by this. Anne Reardon is a food scientist and runs a cookery channel on YouTube, and she's been investigating too.
It's the fake news of the baking world. This is faked baking. And the reason why that works is it's more clickable, and clickbait content is what's currently working on the YouTube algorithm and apparently also working on Facebook as well.
Now, Anne's been trying out a lot of these recipes on her YouTube channel too. There's one on So Yummy where they make cake frosting out of strawberry ice cream, and Anne tried it, it didn't work. I've also tried it and it doesn't work.
Having a food science degree, I know what properties different things have and whether that would actually work or not. It's actually not possible to whip up ice cream because the fat content isn't high enough. Even if you get the most luxurious ice cream you can get, it will not whip and it will not make frosting. And that's just an example of the faked ones, but there's also some now that are going into dangerous territory as well. On 5 Minute Crafts, they've got one where they put a strawberry into bleach to make a white strawberry. If a child was to watch that and try it and eat it, they're going to consume quite a large amount of bleach, which is obviously not good for them.
There's also a So Yummy video where they pour molten caramel over a spinning whisk to get a sort of bird's nest decoration to go on top of a dessert.
Molten caramel is hot, like it's hotter than boiling water. So we've made a box and put plastic wrap in front of it. The hot caramel melted right through it.
While we're here, those melted caramel cake decorations I showed, that's not the best way to make those either. It takes a long time to melt one sweet, and usually they just burn and stick to the pan. The professional and just as easy way, according to Anne, is to put your sweets in a blender, put a thin layer of that on grease-proof paper, and then put it in the oven for just a few minutes. That's a quick and easy way to make caramel cake decorations that you can try at home.
That was Chris, and Chris is here now. You didn't manage to bring me lunch though, did you?
I should have saved you some of my sweaty egg flan.
I'm not sure it looked that appetising. What did the companies have to say?
Well, 5 Minute Crafts, which made the popcorn video that didn't pop, they didn't reply to my email. And First Media, which runs the So Yummy and Blossom channel, well, they invited me to the studios in LA to prove that the recipes work, but they said I couldn't film them doing it. And they told me that they only put recipes in the videos that do work, although I suspect not as shown in the videos, because we tried it and they didn't work. And the food scientist, Anne, she said some of the recipes, there's no way they would work, even if you followed the instructions and used the most luxurious ingredients.
So why are people so busy sharing these videos?
I think they are obviously very visual, the videos are very nicely produced, and the companies would say the purpose of this is entertainment, they're to give you maybe cooking ideas and inspiration, and crucially, probably most people that watch these videos aren't actually going to try the recipes, they just like the visuals.
Clearly, and this is what happened when I asked Kevin Alocker at YouTube about this. Viewers seem to love these videos and share them a lot, but they're clearly not actually trying to make the food.
I think for a lot of life hack videos or kitchen hack videos, it's actually not about trying to take that fact or that hack and use it in your own life. It's actually sort of oddly satisfying to see it play out in front of you. It's just another form of entertainment.
Does it not matter? Is truth a thing of the past?
I think truth is not a thing of the past, but I do think that there's some contexts in which pure accuracy perhaps is not always paramount.
Keeping up with the pace of technological change can be difficult at the best of times, particularly for parents who want to be able to keep track of what their children are doing, how much screen time they're having, whether all the content is appropriate. And never has this been more true than when it comes to video games. So Mark Chislak has been looking at this very problem with a spot of help from one of the best-known faces in football.
Father of three and ex-Manchester United and England footballer Rio Ferdinand is fronting a campaign to encourage parents to learn about the parental controls they can use in their children's video games.
I was someone who's been fairly involved in gaming throughout my adult life, and my children play, and we thought we've got a really good balance in our house. You get in, you do your schoolwork, you do your chores around the house, and have a balance between the gaming and being outside. But having an understanding of what your children are actually doing, I thought was so invaluable for me to understand what I can actually do in terms of controlling what type of games that they're on.
Do you think parents have to take more responsibility as far as video games and their children are concerned?
You have to take a key interest. Like you take a key interest in your child's school life, take an interest in their game life, because it's an integral part of their lives nowadays, like it or not.
The Get Smart About Play campaign is the work of the UK games industry trade body. It provides online guides about parental controls on consoles and computers, controls which can limit playtime and prevent children spending real-world money on virtual items.
Well, we know that more than half of parents in the UK in particular have concerns about the amount of time their children and people in their care are spending playing games and on screens in general. This is part of an overall society digital literacy agenda. So really understanding boundaries, understanding how to protect yourself, understanding how to protect your privacy, it's part of a wider thing in society that I think we need to really pay attention to.
Research suggests that up to 99% of children in the UK aged between 8 and 15 play video games regularly. Compare this to research carried out by the NSPCC, which found that only 19% of parents with children aged between 5 and 15 actually use parental controls on devices which connect to the internet. But some parents think the games industry should bear a greater responsibility.
Are they trying to empower parents, or are they passing the buck? They have a purpose and a responsibility to actually protect the mental well-being of our children. That is part of their role as I see it. Every company that is producing content for our children has to take on that responsibility.
Features in games like loot boxes, randomised in-game virtual items which can be purchased with real-world cash, have been compared to gambling and have led to increased scrutiny of the industry. So does it need to clean up its act?
We are businesses at the end of the day, and these parental controls and family controls are important because you can turn off in-game spending. And so that's why the conversation is really important. So it is a shared responsibility.
While learning about parental controls improves digital literacy, perhaps some parents who play video games with their children might enjoy the experience as well.
Hello and welcome to the Week in Tech. It was a week that Google started its appeal against a £2 billion fine by the European Commission. It's alleged the company abused its power by promoting its own shopping comparison service over others. The world's largest mobile phone show, Mobile World Congress, has been cancelled over coronavirus concerns. The decision comes after high-profile companies, including Nokia, LG and Vodafone, pulled out of the event. And speaking of the coronavirus, in Times Square, New York, a robot has been providing information to curious passers-by about the virus. US and German intelligence services were outed for spying on governments through the control of a Swiss encryption firm. From the Cold War era up to the 2000s, Crypto AG supplied encoding devices which harvested secrets from countries including Iran, India and Pakistan. The first human clinical trials of a blood-drawing robot have started this week. Researchers at Rutgers University found that it performed as well or better than human clinicians. And finally, some people are heavy-handed. I know I am. But now there's a robotic hand that can do the heavy lifting as well as have a delicate touch. It is capable of handling various objects and tools like an egg and playing the piano. It is expected these hands will be used in industrial sites as well as everyday life.
This week saw Samsung's Unpacked event. Yep, it's phone launch time again.
Here I have the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip. Now, whether you find this appealing or not, I have to say that on Click we've been to a fair few phone launches, and it is quite refreshing to find one that doesn't just look like a rectangle.
This is Samsung's second foldable phone and is a more compact offering than the first, even though its ultra-thin foldable glass opens up to a 6.7-inch screen.
And on the front here you have a display where it can give you all your notifications. When you get phone calls or text messages, they'll pop up there. And there's also a camera so you can take selfies without even opening the device. But once you do open it, well, some apps are optimised to be able to provide you with a viewing zone and an interaction zone. It wasn't long ago that the Motorola Razr was announced, and one of the criticisms that that's received is that the line in the middle where the phone actually folds is a bit too prominent. Now, how much that crease would bother me if this was my regular phone, I don't know. I can see a line there, but it is a folding phone, so I don't really know what you'd expect.
Oh, and it would set you back £1,300, by the way.
Here I have the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra. Now, Samsung say the main reason that people upgrade their phones is to get a better camera, and that's definitely the focus here. In fact, it has up to 100 times zoom. If you take a look behind me, there are two small figurines up there. I'm going to try taking a photograph of them using this device, zooming in, and see how clear it's going to be. The camera has 10 times optical zoom, and beyond that moves into digital zoom. Now, once you're in the realms of using the 100 times, the camera engages AI to clean up the image as well. Okay, it's definitely zoomed in, but the image is very shaky, so I think you'd really struggle to do this holding on to the phone. If on a tripod it still looks like this. But you can see more, you can get a clearer image of what you're looking at. The question is, how much use is that photo? You certainly wouldn't want something that looked like that put on your mantelpiece, would you? This shot has been taken using the 48 megapixel camera, and the AI has then helped create a clearer shot. Now let's compare that to this image, which was taken using the 108 megapixel camera, and then after the photo was taken, the picture was zoomed in on. So that one is sort of clearer in a way. This looks more like a work of art.
Over the past few years, Rwanda's become a hub for technology in sub-Saharan Africa. Jen Copestake has been to look at a unique project hoping to bring electricity to the whole country and possibly avert disaster.
Lake Kivu in Rwanda is one of East Africa's Great Lakes. The beautiful landscape is attracting tourists for kayaking and fishing, with hopes to generate a lot of revenue for the country. But something even more valuable is hidden deep within this lake.
We're going 14 kilometers offshore to see the Kivu project. It's where they're extracting methane gas from below the surface of the lake. It's the only project like it in the world.
This barge took 7 years to construct and lies on the lake's border with the Democratic Republic of Congo. The engineers here work 24 hours a day in 12-hour shifts, monitoring the conditions of the lake. Kivu is highly saturated with gases, including methane and carbon dioxide, from millions of years of decomposition and volcanic activity. These gases are kept under pressure at significant depths. The lake is 480 meters deep. However, any disturbance to the lake from seismic activity or a lava flow could result in the gases leaking out. Kivu is one of only 3 known lakes in the world where the specific conditions for this catastrophic event could occur. They are known as the killer lakes. In 1986, a similar lake, Lake Nyos in Cameroon, suffered a carbon dioxide leak. The resulting gas cloud killed over 1,700 people in nearby villages and all other living creatures in its path. If the gases in Lake Kivu escaped, it could have even more deadly consequences. It's over 1,700 times bigger than Lake Nyos, and over 2 million people live around it.
In Lake Kivu, there's a lot of concentration here, which of course is far much more than what we have in Lake Nyos. And this is why it is very, very important to embark on such projects so as to reduce the content of the gas on the lake bed.
There are 300 billion cubic meters of carbon dioxide and 60 billion cubic meters of methane in the lake. Safely extracting the methane will help generate electricity for Rwanda, something it desperately needs.
This project is contributing about 30% to the need of the country.
30%. That's impressive. So that's 30% wasn't there before you started.
Which was not there before, exactly.
Large pipes below the barge bring in the gas-saturated water. This water is forced into a separator. At a certain depth, the gas starts to separate from the water.
The phenomena there is one we would liken to like opening a bottle of champagne. When you are allowing the water to be siphoned upwards, then it's also boosted by the lake pressure itself that is pushing the water upwards.
Water with a mixture of carbon dioxide, methane and hydrogen sulfide is sent to the barge's wash towers and cleaned. The carbon dioxide and hydrogen sulfide are removed. The degassed water is returned to the lake, and methane is delivered by a suspended pipeline to the shore-based power plant for electrical generation.
This is a definition of innovation, building the project right from the design stage up onto construction and now into operation.
Currently, 51% of Rwandans have access to electricity. By 2024, the government hopes that will rise to 100%. The Kivu Watt project plans to deploy 3 additional barges here to help the country reach this ambitious target.
Now, over the past few weeks, we've been showing you some of the films nominated in the Oscars Best Visual Effects category. But we have saved the best for last. And this week, we have Sam Mendes' epic First World War drama 1917 in store for you.
This was the one that took the Oscar, and if you haven't seen it yet, what is pretty remarkable is the way that the film is supposed to look like one continuous shot.
Your orders are to deliver a message calling off tomorrow morning's attack. If you fail, it will be a massacre.
And what Sam's always wanted to do is to have this idea of it, the audience being sort of a part of the story instead of it being a window into the world of something, is actually give the idea that the audience is travelling, going along with this story as an extra character, shall we say. And that in itself brings some really difficult challenges. 91% of that film has a visual effect in it, from digital doubles or environment extensions, atmospherics. We're putting houses or trees or bushes or canals, and it works at this angle. But then the camera carries on, and 2 minutes later we're looking at the reverse angle or something like that, and aesthetically it doesn't work. So we had a lot of logistical sort of issues to work out. And we talked about, really, it was more about feeling. It's a strange word to use because obviously with visual effects, what helps is sort of quantify is that we break it down into shots, and this gets sort of digitally stitched together. But actually, it's more about a feeling of a sequence or a beat.
Go! Go! Go!
No Man's Land is a really interesting sequence because obviously that sort of sets the tone for the journey. This was all shot in England. One of our primary ideas, principles, was to make sure that it looked like the north of France. MPC created CG horses, we did environment extensions, thick barbed wire, added huge amounts of craters. Sam had this vision for his sort of the end scene.
3, 2, 1, go, go!
Our work is really just to tidy up and emphasise what had already gone on, because a lot of it was in camera once again. We were only adding a little bit to the story, but we weren't dramatically changing anything from that, apart from adding a few more dangerous sort of explosions that were closer to our heroes, and obviously the 500 extras that were on the shot on the set at that point. So really we're just adding a little bit more danger and making sure that from a cinematic point of view it was visually a beautiful scene for them.
There is only one way this ends.
Well, that's it for this week's show. You can keep track of the team throughout the week on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube and Twitter at BBC Click. Thanks for watching.